Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So I'm about to expose myself out on the internet and open up. I'm gonna be doing a really casual postpartum slash personal update, but more personal than it is postpartum, and I'll get into that. Before I begin though, I just want to congratulate myself for successfully going out in public with Grayson for the very first time. 6 weeks postpartum, and the only reason why I was alone today is because my whole family is out on vacation. Trevor's at work, so I really had no choice but to be out alone with him, and so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. But I did fail at one thing. I forgot my wallet, so that meant I was driving with no license and I didn't have my health card for my doctor's appointment, but oh well. So I had my 6-week postpartum appointment today at the women's clinic, the same place that I've been going to for my prenatal appointments when I was pregnant with Grayson. And at this clinic you rotate doctors. They have X amount of doctors, so you never see the same one because you're not guaranteed to have that doctor when you deliver, so it's good for you to rotate. Anyways, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because the doctor that I had earlier, you know, she's not my favorite. I met her before during my prenatal appointments, and she is the type to kind of rush through your appointment. I noticed today she even interrupted a lot. They had me answer this, I guess, depression questionnaire. I mean, I don't know the official title. You just kind of fill this out so that they can check on your mental state. She quickly kind of tallied it up and she said, oh, you're scoring higher on this. So I actually ended up opening up more than I normally do during my appointments. I never really bring it up, but I did let her know that obviously, besides the typical newborn stuff, the normal frustrations that come along with it, the other reason why is because of my mom's passing. And it's really interesting that as soon as I said that to her, she would kind of pause and she actually gave me her full attention. Not that she didn't give me her full attention before that, but like I said, I felt like she was rushing through the appointment, and she said, whoa, like, okay, like, so then she encouraged me to kind of talk about it. I explained to her that throughout my whole pregnancy it had been stressful because, you know, it was all cancer related, and then, you know, post birth it was me dealing with her death. It's really interesting that it took that for her to kind of give me the attention that I wanted from the beginning of the appointment. And she said that it hit her like a brick wall, and she wanted to know if I'm getting any support from family and friends. And I let her know that my whole family's away on vacation, especially after what had just happened with my mom. She said, how about your husband? And I said that, you know, he is working office hours Monday to Friday, so I am mostly alone. So she said to me, you know, does your family doctor know about this? And I said no, because, you know, I chose not to bring it up. And I don't know what it is. You know, I've had multiple appointments, prenatal and postnatal, and I've just chosen not to mention it. I may have mentioned it to some nurses that I've encountered during my pregnancy and all of that. I don't want to say that I'm in denial that I need help, because I don't really know if I want to even say that I need help. But maybe the reason why that is because I just didn't want them to flag me to be at high risk for depression. But that's basically what happened today. After I let her know what was happening, she asked me if she could put it in my notes on my file, because then that would mean that my family doctor would find out about it and that he would follow up with me in regards to that. She said, you know, if we had known about this, we could have induced you. I had one person, a relative, who actually brought it up. Don't want to say I got insulted when she said that to me, but I also didn't take it well. You know, I wasn't in a good place to begin with. I was extremely stressed, upset, and all of that, you know, very emotional during my pregnancy. Not because necessarily I was pregnant, but because I had such a hard time coping with my mom's journey with cancer. When she brought up the whole inducing thing, on my drive home, it got me thinking, like, should I have done that? Because it would have been an opportunity for my mom to meet Grayson, and I don't want to say I regretted my decision not to, because to be quite honest with you, I can't even imagine having a newborn while having a dying mom. You know what I mean? And not that how it turned out is preferred. There obviously is no good time for a loved one to pass away, but it definitely got me thinking on my drive home if I could have done something You know, I really don't know if that would have encouraged my mom. Not encouraged, because she had, it's not that it was her choice really to be sick. It wasn't her choice to die. You know, while I was pregnant, a lot of people thought that when I couldn't sleep, they thought that I was uncomfortable from my pregnancy, but that's not really the case. I couldn't sleep because of my mom. And it's the same thing now. It's already hard as it is, obviously, to take care of a newborn, and it is expected to not sleep because of a newborn. But there are many nights where Grayson would have allowed me to fall asleep, but I can't, because the nighttime means quiet time, and that means that I'm alone with my thoughts. No matter how exhausted I am, I can't fall asleep because I think about my mom. I know death is a normal part of life, but I've never lost somebody so close to me, so this is all a new experience to me, on top of being a new mom. You know, the doctor was saying that losing a loved one, that alone puts you at risk for depression. I am dealing with death the same time I'm dealing with a newborn. And I said this all throughout my pregnancy to the people that I felt comfortable talking to, that I am dealing with life and death at the same time, and I don't even know how to feel about it. You don't know if you should be happy, upset, you know what I mean? I guess there is no right or wrong way to feel, and Trevor has been really good at letting me know that. He's been really good at reminding me that you don't have to be strong, you don't have to be okay, you don't have to be anything really. You just be you, and however you feel, whatever you're thinking, that's okay. The doctor actually ended up telling me a story that, you know, she had patients just last year who went through the exact same thing as me. This particular woman, she decided to induce so that her dad or mom, whoever it was, whoever was dying, she wanted to make sure that that person would have the opportunity to meet her child. And unfortunately, that person ended up passing away the night before she was scheduled to be induced. And it's just so awful. What I really appreciated about my mom, she never pressured me into giving birth. She never asked me to induce. She continuously told me how much she prayed that she would live long enough to meet Grayson. She wasn't like other people who were surrounding me. I had a lot who wanted me to give birth as soon as possible. And yes, of course, I wanted my mom to meet Grayson, but I wasn't in the right emotional and mental state to take care of a newborn while waiting for my mom to die, basically. When my water broke and Trevor and I drove to the hospital at, you know, 1:30 in the morning, it reminded me of the time that Trevor and I drove to the hospital just 10 days before that. 10 days before Grayson was born, Trevor and I were driving to the hospital in the wee hours of the morning again. Same hospital, because it was when my mom was about to die. It's so bittersweet looking at Grayson, because looking at him reminds me of my mom. Sometimes when I hold Grayson, I hug him, I tell him I love him. I don't know why, but I think about my mom every single time I do that, and I get really emotional. There are things that he does that reminds me of my mom. Grayson was jaundiced, so even just that alone reminded me of my mom. You know, I went from having a jaundiced mom because of the cancer to having a jaundiced baby. I just felt like it was a continuation of dealing with cancer, even though I know that, you know, Grayson's jaundice is not my mom's cancer. I think we all often are made to believe that expressing ourselves and being emotional is a sign of weakness, when in fact it is the opposite. To be able to do what I'm doing right now, talk about it. Maybe a part of me, I'm afraid to put myself out there, you know, and I really don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I have been kind of wanting to express myself via our YouTube channel about what I'm going through. I actually ended up opening up a little bit in the other vlog that we have, which took a lot out of me, but hopefully moving forward I'll be more comfortable talking about it. You know, the internet can either be a really good place of support, but at the same time, it could be the opposite. You could either get a lot of criticism and bullying and all of that. So hopefully this will work out for the better for me. This isn't obviously our normal vlog. If you ended up watching this whole video, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.